What's going on, guys? So I'm back with Kyle. If you haven't seen the videos about him already, his link will be in the description. Go check out his channel. But we're going to be talking about the strategies that made us successful on Amazon with Amazon selling, because there's different ways about going about finding products on Amazon and creating your listing and just having more value or differentiating yourself, or a bunch of different factors, which we're going to go over what we did on our products. So we'll each do them separately and the different factors. Now, I'll start off with the first thing being product research. Now with mine, I stick to the normal parameters I always show you guys. And if you haven't seen one of those videos, go check out one of my product research ones. Did you do anything special on your product research side?
Not necessarily anything crazy different, but it's just super important with product research to make sure that there's demand for the product. I think that's like really huge when you're finding a product, just because a lot of people will go into products that maybe they're not competitive, but that's for a reason, because there's no one's buying the product. So that's like a huge factor that you just have to make sure that there's people that are willing to buy the product that you're putting out.
So a lot of people shooting too low because they think it's safer?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, why be a big fish in a small pond?
Yeah, there we go. So next for me is going to be differentiation, which I think is the biggest factor when selling on Amazon. You'll see a lot of people will sell the exact same thing. They'll get one or one of the many similar suppliers sell the same thing, and all the listings are the same. The only difference is the price. So then it's just a race to the bottom on price. Who has the lowest price, so your margins drop. When in reality, what I like to do, there's a couple different strategies here. I like to usually add something to my listing, create a bundle on Amazon. So have maybe a main item, let's say it normally goes for $19, $20. I add something that costs me maybe 30, 50 cents, and I can charge $4 or $5 more for that. And that's what I found a lot of success with on most of my products are bundled. And I know you had a little bit different strategy that's worked for you on two of your products.
Yeah, so bundling's great for me. Sometimes it's hard to find that like perfect combination of products so that you can bundle. So what I've found is just adding value in the way that like you make your product better. So like better, like it's constructed better, there's better materials, it's a higher quality product. So just using better, stuff for the product to make it like better in that aspect.
Okay, so you can differentiate that way and charge more. I assume you're charging higher price than other people.
Yeah, and especially if it's like unique and people are using cheap quality products, you can charge almost double because people want something that will last, not something like a cheap China made product. Yeah,
exactly. All right, the next thing is going to be product images. One of the most important things when creating a product listing is getting good images. Now, you need more than just high quality. I personally, you have your main image, white background, high quality, zoomable image, you can see it, great. The next thing, which a lot of people start to lack after that, they'll just throw in extra photos that are fillers. I like to have a couple action shots, so my product being used, if it's not necessarily a product that's used, maybe that product in action or fulfilling its purpose or showing some of its benefits, because if people see pictures with other people using it, they automatically can relate and it's an easier sell. So I think images are the most important factor on a listing, because that's what everyone's looking at when they're scrolling through the pages on Amazon. They're not looking at your title yet. The picture is the first thing that sells them.
It's huge. Yeah, especially the main picture has to be really good quality, because no one's going to click on your listing if it's not the best looking picture. I mean, people will look at price obviously as well, but if you have a really solid picture, I mean, that catches people's eye and they'll click on your listing from that alone.
And don't have an off-white background. Have a white background, even if you got to pay someone $5 to Photoshop that. Too many off-white looks really cheap. Not good.
Yeah, not good, and it's really not that hard to go download. Like GIMP is a free Photoshop app alternative that I've used in the past, and it's really easy to just Photoshop it, make sure it looks really clean, high quality, and it'll make a huge difference in your listing. Before I had a really high quality listing picture, just the original picture, I was getting like no sales, and then I just uploaded a higher quality picture once I was able to take my own, and then I started like getting 10 a day just from that alone. So it's a huge deal, and if you're not getting sales, that's probably the first thing that you need to look at.
So we got 3 more things. Next is going to be, how'd you initially launch your product? For me, I like to do a combination of giving away a couple units, gathering some reviews from friends and family, either verified or unverified. I'll usually get a mix of both, and then starting pay-per-click advertising on Amazon, running that on manual, leaving it there, and then going back a couple weeks, optimizing it. What'd you do for reviews and then kind of launch strategy? Did you give away any? Did you run out?
So I haven't done, well, okay, I've done a little bit of giveaways, but really I've just focused on PPC through Amazon, the pay-per-click advertising. And then using that, I just put it on automatic and then downloaded the data after a week to see what was working and what wasn't. And then I could fine tune that in the manual settings on Amazon, and that had a huge impact. That's how I was gaining sales velocity rather than giving away a bunch of products. I was just using that.
And then once you got that information, you started Facebook ads too?
Yeah. So then I started Facebook ads before I got back all my PPC information, because you can start them at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, both of those had a huge impact on getting like sales velocity on my product, and then that pushed it to the top page one. And then, you get sales organically, because people, when they search, they'll just see your product first.
Exactly. And if you guys are struggling getting reviews, I see a lot of people neglecting this aspect, and that is getting an email tool like JumpSend through Jungle Scout to follow up with people, ask for reviews, see if they need anything, any help. Because you can gather reviews. You're not going to get a ton, but it's a good way to constantly, if you're getting sales, keep trickling in more reviews. So that is one of the strategies I use. You weren't doing any email follow-up, were you?
I was.
You were?
Yeah, I was following up with JumpSend too, actually.
JumpSend? Okay.
Yeah. So that helps a lot. And then also, just when you're doing that PPC and Facebook advertising online, make sure that you're optimizing those different campaigns, because a lot of people, you're letting them run, and sometimes if you're not optimizing it properly, or some keywords just aren't converting well, you will be losing money or not making as much as you could. So just make sure that you're looking at that and fine-tuning it all the time, really, just to make sure that you're making the most that you can from those campaigns.
Yeah, keep optimizing PPC. Take out any that are losing you money. Increase spending on the ones that are making you money. It's going to make you more, and you're going to rank higher organically because of that. So that's kind of all I had on my list. Do you have any other little things that you did or tricks?
Not really. The Facebook advertising was huge for my more competitive products, just to push them out, because it's hard to compete on Amazon if there's 300 people selling the same thing. But if you can reach an audience that's not being reached by your competitors, that can make a big difference.
So getting into more competitive niches that way?
Yeah, it's an easier way to penetrate the market.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You learned something. Make sure you go check out Kyle. He'll be the first link in the description, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.